Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Yesterday I have recorded a video that I have posted on Patreon and Locals, so if you are interested, you can go there and check it out. The links are down below in the description box. So what I will present to you in today's video. I want to focus on a person who is a spiritual advisor to Donald Trump, Paula White Kane, I believe she has two last names from marriage, I assume. We're gonna look into that person and see a few videos, what kind of energy she represents and what kind of belief system we already know, but this is a very good representation of what aura is residing at the White House at this moment. And actually, she was very close to Trump during his first term as well. However, he wasn't acting as crazy as he is right now, which I would say this to me is not real Trump. I don't know who it is, but it's something else. I will also show you some very heartbreaking images that I came across in the last 2 days. And they are not the latest images, but a few months old, which doesn't change the way how you feel about it when you look at it. And then I will explain to you why I'm showing them to you, because it truly is heartbreaking. However, we're going to start with a tweet. I don't know how you say it now, since Twitter is no longer Twitter, but is X platform from Trump. And before we jump into video, I would like to ask you if the content I provide brings you any value, make sure to hit the thumbs up. It's free of charge. Subscribe to my channel and leave the comments down below about what you think regarding what I am presenting to you. So let's read first this comment from, not comment, but tweet from Trump from yesterday, I think, a few hours old. So, what does it say? Yeah, it's 7 hours ago. It says, Israel, out of anger for what has taken place in the Middle East, has violently lashed out at a major facility known as a South Pars gas field in Iran. A relatively small section of the whole has been hit. The United States knew nothing about this particular attack, and the country of Qatar was in no way, shape, or form involved with it. Nor did it have any idea that it was going to happen. Unfortunately, Iran did not know this or any of the pertinent, sorry if I mispronounce, facts pertaining to the South Pars attack or Pars attack, and unjustifiably and unfairly attacked a portion of Qatar's LNG gas facility. Now in capitals letters, no more attacks will be made by Israel pertaining to this extremely important and valuable South Pars field, unless Iran unwisely decides to attack a very innocent, in this case Qatar, in which instance in the United States of America, or with or without the help of consent of Israel, will massively blow up the entirety of the South Pars gas field at an amount of strength and power that Iran has never seen or witnessed before. I do not want to authorize this level of violence and destruction because of the long-term implications that it will have on the future of Iran, but if Qatar's LNG is again attacked, I will not hesitate to do so. Thank you for your attention to this matter, President Donald J. Trump. Okay. So now, with all this craziness, absolute craziness going on, let's look into this woman. Let's look at this woman who is behind Trump, literally physically behind Trump. You know, when they pray at the Oval Office at the table, at the desk, I mean, and he's sitting behind the desk, and all those so-called priests, right, put hands around him and pray, and whatever words they are saying, God only knows, or maybe Satan only knows. This is the one who is definitely the closest because she is the spiritual advisor. Boy, oh boy, what she can advise, right? So let's look at few clips, just few clips first with her, and then we go to a longer video. What kind of messages and direction and spirit she represents. Let's take a listen and let's take a look.
In the name of Jesus, we command all satanic pregnancies to miscarry right now.
What?
We declare that anything that's been conceived in satanic wombs, that it'll miscarry.
What?
It will not be able to carry forth any plan of destruction, any plan of harm.
This is Donald Trump's spiritual advisor, Paula White, and let's just call this for what it is. This is satanic rhetoric. Praying for the miscarriage in the name of Jesus, no matter what the context is not just wrong, it's flat out blasphemy. She has no business being a preacher, and she certainly has no business in the White House.
In the name of Jesus. I want $100,000 to come in. I want $100,000. There are people, there are 10 people that could give $10,000. There's 100 people that could give $1,000. Get a check, make it payable to Paula White Ministry. There are people that are watching right now. If you say, I don't have it, give $100. Bring up a sacrificial seed. This isn't for me. This is about kids that will die without you being obedient. There's only 3 envelopes. I'm not moving. I'm not going to lay hands on people till you're obedient. Get out of your seat. Come on and come bring up a seed. I want $100,000 to come in. I want $100,000 to come in. I want $100,000. There are people, there are 10 people that could give $10,000. There's 100 people that could give $1,000. Get a check, make it payable to Paula White Ministry. There are people that are watching.
And she flies private jets, and people are actually giving money. Yeah. So don't you think that discernment nowadays is something that is absolutely crucial? How you can tell the difference between light and darkness? Because it's pretty obvious in this case, right? I had one more video, so let me find it, guys, if I still have it, with her, which was really, really something. And then we go to a video with her and Netanyahu and Netanyahu's wife, Sarah. Actually, you know what? I want to show you this because I've showed you this some time ago. So I have to mute myself now. Just give me a moment, everyone. Give me a moment because I'm going through my computer struggle. So just a second. Let's take a look at another spirit. Not that far away from hers. It's just different body moves, right? Let's take a look. I showed him before, but maybe some of you haven't seen him. This is the... that's how Chabad Lubavitch prays as well, I believe, because that's how they... that's one of the prayers, yeah. So the post said it was a prayer for Israel. Whatever was the prayer, I don't even think it was for Israel because they don't really, in my opinion, they focus on the big picture, and Israel has to be destroyed in order for the greater New Israel project to be born. So you demolish and destroy first, and then you build on it. Before we go to her again, actually no, let's go to her. Let's go to her because then I have few more very connected to it clips. Here is an interview that she had, or conversation that she had with Netanyahu and with his wife, Sarah. So here is Paula White, Trump's spiritual, or I would say demonic advisor. Maybe I should put this in the title of this video. Demonic woman behind Trump. Don't you think it's a good title? So let's take a look.
Historic, I mean, like when we say ancient in Israel, it's like 2,000 years ago and more. In America, it's a little bit less, but so this is what I saw as a little child. And as my husband said, I was born and raised in House of the Bible. My father was a Bible scholar and a teacher, like I think like thousands of students and like generations he were his students, and he was a scholar, and like you said, he was one of the first people that were in the first Bible lessons in the Prime Minister's house, David Ben-Gurion. And afterwards, he also wrote poems and the stories about Israel and about his family and about the Holocaust. He was the only survivor from the Holocaust. He came from Poland as a young guy, and just because of he was Zionist, and he lost all his family there. So he wrote a lot of.
I'm 61. Today I'm switching from walking 10K steps to Tai Chi.
Stories and poems about the Holocaust and about the Jewish people that has to survive. So as a little child, I saw my brothers preparing to the Bible champion, and we studied Bible every Saturday and Friday, and it was like the whole thing around it. And you can combine between Bible and other things. I mean, like everybody in my family are scholars, and one of my brothers is a professor, he was one of mathematics and physics, but he was also the Bible champion when he was 10, I think. So it goes with everything, and I think that the thing that, like, it's like a habit to say, like, the Bible is for the religious, not so much. I think it's for everybody, Jewish and Christians and all of us. I mean, this is the core of our history and our being a civilization. So this is.
Thank you. Thank you. Well, Pastor Paul, we are honored to be here today. And of course, honored to have you spend a lot of time in Israel. What can you share with us from your personal life story about your connection to Israel and the people here?
So much. But I first want to say thank you, Joni, and Prime Minister and First Lady Sarah. I'm just so honored to be sitting up here with, I believe, God's chosen for everyone. Israel and me being here in this is very sacred to me. Yeah, it's very holy. It's intimately a part of who I am, not just somewhere that I'm going. I've been to almost 120, 30 countries, but Israel to me is home. Mm-hmm. I came, people that know my story know that I didn't grow up in a Christian home. I'd never heard of a Bible or Jesus, didn't know the name, or didn't know anything about Judaism or Christianity or any other religion. And at 18 years old, I had a very divine encounter. And someone gave me a Bible, and they began to tell me about a God that loved me, and it changed my life forever. They told me to go find a church. I went. I was 18 years old, and most everyone was 60. Now that's young, but they were very old to me at that time. So I said, I need that book. I need that book. Yeah. I got that book, and as you know, Joni, I did nothing with my life. And I got very rejected by my family and by everyone else for this, because the minimum you could have was a master and a doctorate. And I did nothing but stay in the Bible. 2 years later, I had an opportunity, this was in the 80s, to come to Israel. I came to Israel, and I'll never forget, the Bible became alive to me. Every parable I read, every story I read, every word from Genesis to Revelation, it not only had historic meaning, which is vitally important, because if you don't know your history, you'll never know your destiny. It helped me understand my present It backed it up with the archaeological, with science, with physical. So I could understand, I was the curious seeker. So I didn't understand, well, how did Jesus stand over here and say, then they didn't have microphones. How could they hear that? Until I actually went there and saw it was like an amphitheater.
Right.
I was like, my goodness. And there's where the seeds are, and there's where the farmers are. And it all made sense. Beside that, the culture is the best. It's got the best vegetables on the planet.
Yeah.
And the best food.
Great food. Yes.
And the most beautiful culturally place. The people are so loving and so good. So not only did I start like that, but I then didn't just come back and want to see the sights. I brought thousands upon tens of thousands back to Israel, because I think it's more than just praying for Israel. I think it's good for people to be here, but we must stand with Israel in every way. And then I'll jump up to 2023, my last visit right before the horrific day of October 7th, and why this is so important. So we were doing a lot of campaigning and working for, out on the trail with President Trump and my organization and just Awakening America. And we usually take 2 weeks with our grandchildren and children for summer. We were going to steamboat our happy place and over to Europe. And I really felt like Hashem, God spoke to me and said, no, go to Israel. And I have friends and deep relationships all over. So we did. We brought our grandchildren and children. We didn't go to the normal places that people would go to, Christian sites. We celebrate Shabbat. We go in bed in families. We were at Gaza. We were in Samaria. We were at Argo Farms with Jeremy and Ari. We were all over. We went coast to coast 2 weeks, every bit of it. Our grandchildren made pen pals with children in Israel. And that is so important, because when you make relationships, it's not just something you see on TV. So my grandson at the time, 4 years old, when he was 5 years old, and my granddaughter, 7 years old, weeping if their friends were still alive, praying over them, that every time a bomb would go off, when they would have to get in shelter, communicating with them. We don't feel like we're in America and they're in Israel. We are all one family. And it is so important that you don't just hear about Israel, but you become intimately a part of Israel.
Yes, you experience it for
Absolutely.
sure. Well, Mr. Prime Minister, as the steward over the nation of Israel and God's chosen people in this challenging hour, as best as possible, can you explain the spiritual weight of that assignment that you feel? And I know that there are Christians that are praying for you all over the world.
Well, first, I want to thank them on behalf of the people of Israel and the state of Israel. I think people don't understand the depth of the support, the breadth of the support that we have in the Christian communities in the world. And it is far more dominant than the engineered campaign and the social networks.
Yes.
And the engineered algorithms and the fake bots. We understand. We saw just now great victory
Amen.
against this thugocracy, these thugs who've taken over a great, talented, ancient people, the Persian people. They've taken them over, and they declare that they want to destroy us, en route to destroy you. And so when we fought back and surprised the world, shocked the world with our successes, it went like an electric bolt through so many countries, and we got so many responses of people who identified not only with our resolve, our ingenuity, and our power, but also with our values, because they understand that
Okay, I have to make some comments here. First and foremost, if you were watching Netanyahu's wife, Sarah, body language, and maybe you've noticed, I just give me a moment because I have to go to this one. Okay, when you were watching her body language, she was not quite comfortable when Paula White was bringing up the name Jesus. That was just my impression. Well, I'm glad she didn't say Jesus is king, because that is anti-Semitic due to Ted Cruz. You remember that video? You remember the statement? So when you see this, right? When you see this, what goes through your mind? What kind of spirit is this? Well, here is another video. A man who recorded, I think it's from New York police station, what he saw in New York police station. So let's take a look at this little clip. What's up in New York City as far as the flag goes? You remember those flags on the table right next to each other? You know, which normally when you have visit from another country, you have the country, you had US and you had Israeli flag. So let's take a look. Currently in New York. Sorry guys, I had to find the video. I have another one. I apologize because I'm still dealing with this computer situation. I don't know how something just switched here, but this is from Texas, okay? So this is currently what you can find in Texas. Let's look at this. Zombie attack. Are you prepared? Well, so who are the zombies? This is the main question. Maybe like this spiritual advisor is kind of zombie in a way. That's how I see her. Very, very weird energy, right? Especially when she delivers those messages to the masses, the spiritual messages. I will find that video and I show you another time. But now I want to take you to those disturbing images that I came across in the last few days. Why I want to share it with you is because I think it's really hard to look at those things and to see the level of suffering. And very often, especially for me, I know that you cannot take it too long. Like you literally feel your energy is being drained. And actually they want that in a way. But at the same time, I also know that if you don't acknowledge what's taking place, if you don't face it in a way that you see it and you don't talk about it at all, it almost does not exist. And when I look at these videos and those people, and you will see it in a second, ask yourself a question, guys, because some people think this is far away, this is not in my place where I live, but this could be any one of us. Like literally, this could be any one of us. And sometimes, very often, most of the times, we just don't think like that because this is far away enough for us not to feel it. Well, we feel it when we see it, but it's a different kind of pain. You know what I mean? So now I will mute my sound and I will just take you to those videos. Actually, you know what? No, I'm not going to mute myself. I'm going to walk with you through those videos. First, We're gonna look into, let me find it. I have so many here. We're gonna look through this one. So here you see the Palestinian families with missing family members who attend a meeting to try to identify disfigured and visibly tortured bodies returned by the occupation. This is absolutely insane. You see the images, they are blurred, and those are family members who lost the loved ones, and they are looking at it if they can identify. Imagine being in this room. It's, I haven't seen this before, and I decided to show you this because this truly is horrific, right? You see like the face and how much strength it takes, strength of spirit, to go to that room and to look at those images, right? And someone says here, this is absolutely inhumane. Yes, it is inhumane. Now, here is another thing. First I thought this can't be true. So what is this? This says Gaza father uses sieve to recover remains of family members. Is this true, guys? Because this is unbelievable to me. There is a bone here, so he's picking up those bones. The whole buildings, I'm looking for my wife and children like this. If this is true, this is just absolutely beyond. I never seen anything like it. But I guess that's how they do exhumations as well, right? I don't know. I'm not an expert. And someone says he's numb at this point. Like you can look at him and you don't see any emotions or feelings. He's like on the mission of, this is just absolutely insane. This is a fragment of shoulder, the remains of a newborn. My wife and children. Here is another bone. All right, one more video, guys. This is from January, I think. Yes. Palestinian infant boy dies from cold in Gaza and winter crisis. So let's read this before we look into it. In the midst of winter conditions in the Gaza Strip, a 2-month-old infant, Mohammed Abu Harbit, died from severe hypothermia, highlighting the worsening humanitarian catastrophe caused by the ongoing war. His death brings the number of children who have frozen to death in Gaza to 4 since November 2025 and 12 since the war began in October 2023. Heavy rain, freezing winds, mass displacement, and destruction of homes have left thousands of families without adequate shelter or heating, placing infants and other vulnerable groups at extreme risk. Hospitals are overwhelmed and critically under-resourced. At Al-Auda Hospital, neonatal ward, sorry if I mispronounce, in the Nusayrat refugee camp, doctors struggle to keep premature babies alive amid severe shortages of medical equipment, medications, baby formula, and electricity. Many incubators lack internal batteries due to the Israeli restrictions, making them unusable during frequent power outages. As generators fail, incubators lose heat instantly, exposing newborns to life-threatening hypothermia. Medical staff report an increase in premature births caused by mothers' deteriorating health, further compounding the crisis. So this is a family member. This is just, I have to tell you guys, it's hard for me to look at it. But what the fuck are we doing in this world? What are we doing? It's just, this could be any one of us, literally. I don't know, breaks my heart, like for real. Literally breaks my heart. You know, I don't show things like this because I think it's like we know what's going on and it brings our energy down, and really we have to focus on keeping the spirit high, but at the same time, I can't. So now, when you even say the name of Palestine, you know, for me, this is the human who died. What did this child do to you, right? What many thousands of those children did to anyone. But now when you bring this name, let's listen to this video. Let's listen to this video. This is California. So what's up in California when you talk about things like that?
The history of Palestine has not just been rewritten, but is being deleted.
Had a student who didn't like some of the things I said that Israel is a settler state, but they said that that was anti-Semitic. I myself am Jewish.
Is it still even possible to mention the word Palestine in public schools in California, one of the most progressive states in the country? Well, a new law has just been approved, and teachers who cover Palestine history, who criticize the state of Israel or oppose mainstream media, could now be labeled anti-Semitic and censored.
This extreme form of policing our classrooms is like nothing I've ever experienced or witnessed before. It's the witch hunt of our time.
AB 715 was signed into law in October of 2025. This law is extremely dangerous because it's about silencing pro-Palestine speech.
The Israel lobby absolutely cannot tolerate children learning to think critically about Israel.
We spoke with several teachers here in the Bay Area in San Francisco. They told us they've received formal complaints from Zionist parents and outside organizations just for discussing Israel and Palestine. And look, even Jewish teachers have been targeted.
I compare and contrast South African apartheid and Israeli apartheid. That lesson also in particular got a lot of pushback.
The students wanted to do a Palestine information table during Arab Heritage Month, and we were verbally attacked by a staff member at our school and some moms.
Some teachers have been put under investigation, reprimanded, or sanctioned just for doing their job. They say the goal of these Zionist groups is clear: to rewrite history books and erase any mention of Palestine.
I was put under investigation twice. Honoring that we have Palestinian students on our campus and wanting to share their culture and their history is what I got in trouble for, and have consequences for trying to teach about actual history, events, factual events.
Basically, anytime Palestine is raised in any context in a school setting, Israel organizations will accuse the teacher and the school of threatening Jewish students. And they begin a campaign that involves surveillance through the public records system, lawsuits, complaints.
Activists here fear that this shocking crackdown on academic freedom could set an example for the rest of the country. That's why they are not trying to challenge a new law in court.
That the law didn't explicitly define anti-Semitism, so it doesn't say anti-Semitism is, and that in turn conflates a lot of criticism of Israel with anti-Semitism. Complaints don't have to only come from parents or students. They can come from anybody. And that's one of the most dangerous things about it.
They want us to be afraid, and I hope that there's more teachers like me that just refuse to be silenced. If they want to complain about me, I'm not afraid.
So this, in my opinion, will become a law that will be all across, right, United States, don't you think? You remember, I think it was Rockefeller who created this so-called modern schooling system in early 20th century, 19-something, whatever was the date. And wasn't it him who said, we want workers, not thinkers? So you cannot think on your own, because if you do, and if you think in the opposition of what they want you to think, there you have it. Because those are not, in my opinion, those are not human beings. Because when you see the child like this, who literally died from hypothermia, and thousands of others, tens of thousands of others who have been killed not by accident, but deliberately, right? And we know it. And if you don't feel anything, actually rejoice in it, who are you? Who are you? Or what are you? One more video, guys, before we end this one. This is in West Bank, I believe, because now they are like on the mission to take over more land and create this incredible place, right? Oh, by the way, I forgot to talk about this, since Paula White topic. This is from a day ago, maybe older, but maybe 2 days old. Israel closes the tomb of Christ indefinitely for the first time in the history of Christianity. Holy Week and Easter services will be prohibited. We're talking this year, so this is like 2 days old or something like that. Sunday service is cancelled. Church leaders call emergency meeting. So now, you remember this interview that I was just playing for you? How does this go when she was mentioning that she has visited all the sites when Jesus was and everything, and now it's not okay. I wonder what Paula White thinks about it. So let's go to this video. Here is Israeli soldiers filmed themselves. Actually, this is in Lebanon, sorry, it's not West Bank, but the same people in just different country. Looting homes in Lebanon. So it doesn't matter, like someone says, like they did in Gaza. So it doesn't matter if it's West Bank, Gaza, Lebanon. And actually they record themselves proudly showing this. This can be any country in that matter, guys. Any country. You know what I mean by that, right? So yes, I will attach the links down below in the description box. Thank you for watching and for hitting thumbs up if you are courageous enough to do so, and for subscribing as well. The video, some videos I put on Patreon, so the one I put yesterday is already there. Like I said, you can go and check it out. Thank you for supporting my work. If you want to do it, the best way is by becoming my member on Patreon or Locals, or by donating on PayPal. And you can also purchase the books that I have written for children. And those are 2 of the 5 that are being ready at this moment. So you can order them as well, and I can mail it to you. That's it for today. Lots of love. And remember, we are the leading edge. And we are truly saving humanity. And I see you in another video. Bye, everyone.